Hello, this is Future Quentin here. How are you? Um, Initially, when I shot this video, this was very early in my YouTube days. So I just noticed that some of the video is a little bit smeary in certain places. So pardon that, I'll try my best to clean up as much as I can and make sure that everything looks on point. There are going to be really two cockpits featured here, but with the third one coming from an old cockpit of mine that is still around. One was meant to be a gift and one is meant for me. So my job is to make this as entertaining as possible. So please sit back, enjoy, and laugh at times with me as well. Thank you.
Ooh, so this is a follow-up video. Actually, that's not true. This is not a follow-up video because from my understanding, this video is basically one of those a few moments later type deals. Or I'd rather say in this case, a few months later. Initially, this video started off with me replacing the original wheel for this, or from this G920. I always mistake the G920 for the G27s, the G29s, etc. because sometimes the naming conventions are very interesting. So the initial video was about me replacing this original wheel with an actual real wheel from a car. I actually bought a 2-pack of these. Obviously, and I said that I wanted to give one to a friend and get him to use it on his. And obviously the diameter is the biggest issue because this just never quite felt right. Every time you try to turn around a corner, etc., you feel like the car should be handling a certain way. So, I'm going to make an adjustment to this angle, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not too out of frame. If I am, I'll fix it later. Hopefully. Or at least hopefully we can get a good outcome of this. So what happened was I had a chat with a man on one of these Facebook forums that I'm a part of on Facebook, as I've stated before, on the marketplace. And this gentleman is a man named Xander. His company is Labyrinth Prints. Now I think if I did the unboxing correctly, I would have shown the little mascot that comes with this with his packages, and maybe the little mascot is going to be in one of these as well. The reason why I've sort of axed out some of the details and stuff is I don't want the gentleman getting doxed. I just want the man to get his credit. Now, before I cut this open, the reason why I'd stopped the video is because I think maybe just somewhere in the curing process or in the printing process, what happened was the clips that sort of segment these into, because this would just be net tectonic. I'm trying to now figure out what the name is. I'll think of the name, sorry, for straight shifting and basically just going low and high up. Sequential, I believe, is the name. Normally you put a gate in and maybe you go for this style. I didn't necessarily want that style. What I wanted was I just wanted the classic H pattern. Right? And so while in the process, because some of these clips just didn't feel like they'd been cured properly, on the other one it was okay, but I feel like some of these, they easily snapped. So when they easily snapped, I decided to put a hold on the video, contact Xander, and Xander was nice enough to send me back a new package. But in that new package, one of the other things that I really wanted was to sort of have a bit more space, you know? Have a bit more space just to access some of these buttons that are hidden away, you know? In the G920, I was going to say the G29 because the G29 is the red dials and things like that. But I just wanted to have a bit more access to sort of pressing the buttons and see them clearly. So I said, hey, would it be possible for me to add a slight spacer in between these two? I've got long enough I've got long enough of a reach that I should be able to handle the plates if I need to shift something or sort of make adjustments. So finally we got that, and after surgery and a few things that I was dealing with at the moment, pardon me as I sip this. So after all that, packages here. I just sort of had it sitting on the shelf for a while as I had things to do. So I decided, hey, let's have a look. I took the wheel off the rig, and again, pardon me, I should really get a better unboxing knife. I used to have one, I don't know where it went, and come up with stuff looking for it. So I ordered a few things, a few spacers, just to see how things would go. So not only did he send me another H-pattern shifter, but he also sent me some spacers with the blue color. So in this current package, this is what we have. I should take stills of this, but I don't think it'll be necessary. This is what we have. So this is going to serve as a bit more of a spacer. It'll probably add just a little bit more, just so that I can be able to sort of access these buttons a little bit better, be able to see them and better make some better choices. So this is going to be the spacer, and this is going to be a spacer for my other friend because it's going to match his width. So I'll put this to the side for him. Some extra screws. He added some extra just in case I might need them. Thank you very much. And also he's given me the replacement he's also given me the replacement. My shift iron, hopefully this time he just was able to reinforce the bits a lot more, no cracks. You can see there's some elements of the blue in there, which is very good. But yeah, this feels a little bit better. The plastic is not as, because last time it just felt like it was a little bit warped and a little bit cracked, and so therefore it just wasn't doing quite right. Now I can hear something in there. Now I think that's a piece of plastic or something that would have either cracked or something would have happened. So I'll check it out in a minute. I might even open it completely and just have a quick look just to get rid of the noise. So bear with me while we open this. I probably need to get my toolkit, which is fine. I'll get that in a minute. For now, I'll deal with this. Actually, I remember there's a long screen there. Alright, now I remember. This is what I'll do. Start off here. Because I haven't done this in a minute, I'm forgetting where everything is supposed to be, and also what sizes everything is, because last time I think everything was somewhat in the same category, so we'll try again and see how we go. Put it up on the unit later and sort of do what we need to. Jeez. This fell in love with my Allen key. I think these are the ones that set this down. I need to find some screwdrivers. That's all I want. Now, there's something rattling in here. I can't quite make out what that is. And it's bothering me. So, because it's bothering me and I kind of want to see if it was shrapnel or something that broke in, all we have to do is try to open this and see what we can do. Let's have a look. Bear with me for a minute. Oh, that does not feel good. I've got screwdrivers there, but I think I need something a little bit longer because I think that's a fairly long bit. Hopefully I don't have to go too far to look for screwdrivers. Hopefully the ones here should cover it. If not, then yeah, I'll have to go somewhere and actually try to look around to see where I put the longer screwdrivers, which will suck. Let's see, what other extensions might I need? I think for now we should be good. If I need to get up again, I will indeed go through the process. My hips do not feel good. As Shakira said, the hips do not lie. So, for now, what we'll do, put that there. Let's have a look. So, I'll check my video in a minute just to make sure my video hasn't stopped recording because that should suck. That's more than enough battery that I need. Needed some battery because something was going on with this phone. Not very reliable sometimes, you know. I would say one of the biggest issues is getting into that last screw. Hopefully there are not many hidden ones in there. Something's about to fall. Okay, so that fell out. Yeah, this is very interesting. So one of these fell out. Basically, it was one piece that had sort of broken off. Turn my head. Give me 1 second. I'm so happy because I don't have to open too much stuff. Now, if I needed to sort of get this out, which I will in a minute because I'm going to be putting this in, and so that's going to create a problem. What I have to do is obviously set this up. So, try that. Hopefully that will not give me problems. You can see in there, look at that, just. So I need something a little bit longer and less restricted. I was going to use this adapter. I get the feeling that's not going to cut it either. I think it's just. Yep, so just. So I need to find the skinnier screwdriver. And there's something else in here, which I'll check in a minute and see what that is. I'll be right back. Please do not make me go and look for longer screwdrivers. I hope, actually I hope I don't even have to do that. I should have my screwdriver set somewhere here. I just need to be able to find it amongst all this stuff that I'm working on. I can see a soldering iron, I can see everything else, but no screwdrivers. It's very yellow. Hopefully one of these should be skinny enough to get me in there, and I should have some extensions. So hopefully, this should cover me. Let's see. Yeah. I think we're cooking with gas. say, geez, you cannot be serious. I was wrong. This does the trick. There we go. Alright, so we'll put that aside for a minute. And sort of have a look at what did I just miss out. Because that might be something crucial, something that we might need later. Definitely ordering a new knife, for sure. Alright. I don't know what this is. I do not know what this is. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to ask what this is, and maybe get this in post. And I get the feeling that this is going to be something important, or maybe. I hope I'm not. Maybe it's a clip to extend. Maybe. I get the feeling. This is what I get the feeling this is for. I get the feeling it's to extend these. So, I get the feeling that if, say, for some reason your hands are too short, this will give you a boost so that you can access things with a gap, which is an excellent idea. Really good. I will say that, you know, you'd have to figure out a way to make these a little bit thicker, just so that there's not too much flex. You need to sort of reinforce that. I'll say, great idea. I think it's a great idea that he's come up with. Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. Look at the travel path. That's really good. I'll have a chat with him and tell him to thicken these up a little bit. Because I think that if you just add a bit more, you just don't want that flimsiness. If you have a quick look. You don't want that flimsiness, but these are great. These are great. I hope this is what they're for, because I'm guessing that's what they are. And I think he threw these in as a bonus just to make up for the last time, which is great. Thank you very much. And again, I'll shout him out later. But yeah, now we don't have the rattling noise in there, so which is great. Like I said, you've got the option of making this a very straightforward situation and just sort of have, you know. But I think that for now, I want the manual feel. I can always change this out and sort of go with the current loadout. My only thing is I just need to remember which is the right way. As last time. So maybe. No, that's upside down. Can't be. But again, maybe. Feels better this way. Yeah, not quite right. Not quite right. So it has to be this way. It has to be this way, just so that way you can catch everything. But again, you know, you can only make these things as thick, you know. So we also have to sort of understand that, you know, you might be better off going the sequential route. But for this case, because I just want to get out everything and give it that pink look, especially because I'm going to be mucking around with my daughter with this a lot more. Because she's such a big fan of Princess Peach and Mario Kart, that was actually the real reason why I did it with these colors. I'll leave it here for now, like this, and then we'll figure it out as we go, okay? But for now, we'll go with this. Looking good. Okay, and feeling good. Alright, so we're gonna fix this problem and then we'll move on to the other problem. And it looks like he's refined a few things as well, added a few screws in places. Alright, that looks pretty good. So we'll come back to that. Let's add the screws that I took out from the back. Feels solid. There are supporting screws around here. I would prefer things lock into place just so that way things don't break. In an ideal situation, that's what you want. You want things to just sort of smooth off the way. Maybe it needed to be slightly on the screw. So. Slightly shorter screw. Let's make up the difference with the other screws, and hopefully we don't have to rely on that screw as much. one thing that I will say is I wish there was a way to include this boot in there somewhere. Now, as tempted as I am to do it, what then would happen is it would interfere with the shifting stick if I added this. Why I'm talking about the boot is just you don't want dirt in there, whereas the sequential generally tends to cover a lot of things and not too much dirt has got access to get in there. So that's the one thing I will say, but it's something that you'd have to sort of figure out if there's a way to maybe put like a little mesh or something in there. That's something that we can always talk about and sort of give the man feedback when he makes some of these, and maybe there might be an attachment or something that we can figure out later on. Again, these are proofs of concepts, you know, these are things that maybe he makes for now, but then the thing is with the Logitech price point is, you know, it's also consumer friendly. It's not meant to be commercial grade or much more hardcore, you know. It's just meant to be for people who are trying to get into sim racing, but on an entry level, at a budget level as well. So it's very budget friendly. So maybe sometimes you also have to be conscientious of not asking too much. But nonetheless, you know, you can always sort of ask and then sort of see what he can come up with, because we want him to innovate, we want him to improve, and we want him to be able to actually, you know, make a good solid living out of this as well. So that's the thing at the end of the day, is all we can do is ask. So currently here we are, which is pretty good. Hopefully they don't snap this time, you know. If they do, good thing is the price point is once again very friendly, so we can always sort of try to replace things as we go. A lot of screws built into there. I think that this time around he reduced some of the screws and put bigger screws in certain areas, which is fine. Just popping these out. And like I said, I could keep the 4, but what I want to do is I want the screws to always be there, so that in case you lose a screw or something, you know, you can always pull one out from a particular angle and sort of have a spare. And that's one of the key ideas as well. There we go. That's locked into place. It feels like it's locked into place as well. A little bit loose, that one, so maybe I threaded something the wrong way, or I didn't screw it in properly the first time. I do not know. I'll sort it out later. It's not too serious of a problem, so, because we do now have quite a few more of these, so I'll put this up somewhere just so that I don't lose it. Alright, so we've got the shifter aspect of it done. Dildo is coming back, as I like to call it. Where did I put? Should be right. Oh la la, that feels really good. So, shifter. That feels pretty good. I said we'll figure out a way to maybe incorporate, maybe incorporate one of these in some way, shape or form. But then also it will then require sort of lining up the screws in such a way, maybe creating longer screws, and maybe, you know, again, depending on what you want to do and how you want this thing to look like at the end of the day. This is like sort of that, I don't want to say nubuck, but something close to that, maybe like a suede, whatever. So that's the shifter out of the way. Oof. We'll quickly check, just to make sure the recording is on point. We have had no stoppages, because again, video limitations. Pretty good. Close to 30. Okay. So now the big boy is the one that we need to work on. Big boy, not too bad, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. It was this. Oh. Too big, too small. Let's try you. No. It's too big. Just right. Oh, I this would have been where the metric and imperial confusions go. So what I will do is I'll quickly grab. Oof. I shall quickly grab. Hips don't feel very good, I promise you. So I'm not even going to be enjoying this set. It's going to be mainly my kid playing with this for a while. I would love a direct drive, but you know, that's another price point. So for now, what we have here is we've got an adapter and a spacer. So this is going to get very interesting. This is going to get really interesting. So, threading on that one is very unique. This one, also unique. So, what did I do last time? It's too narrow. That's just right. Again, these are SAAS, so SAS, I believe, what these wheels were for. The guy bought these to put in his ute or pickup, I believe. I think he had just one of those sportier, low-profile sort of joints, and he bought two wheels for a pack, and I just bought it for him. The other one actually still had the horn option, and then some things wired down, I believe, with the badge in the middle, but I preferred the pink look just because I thought it would be different. So I said, you know what, initially I was going to paint it red, but I said, you know what, let's go for it, let's commit. And let's see where it will take us, just because I just wanted a different look anyway from everybody else. So, alright. So properly, again, I'll always reiterate that big difference, huge difference. You know, you can't compare these two. The only thing that's missing is the Xbox button. I wish you could maybe drill a hole, and maybe potentially that's something I might do. But because the wheel is going to be so far forward, because some people prefer the deep dish, I'm not a fan of the deep look. I wanted a flat wheel. I'll leave this as it is. So we just wanted access to the buttons. That's why I said that if this is what I think it is, then this is genius. Because what this does is it creates that look that we want. We want the pedals. We want to have access, right? So once we sort of can create that look and sort of have access, what then that means is you have these closer, and that's what you want. That look is really good. So like I said, the only thing I would say with his design is to just make these a little bit thicker, just so that they're a bit more durable. Because again, I'm assuming that if someone is playing this and they're a bit tired, or it's an intense race and they're not winning, or something is going on, they might just lose their shit. So this is where the adapter is going, and I'm so guessing that these long screws are basically what he's chucking in there to make sure that everything lines itself up. Am I going to use all of them? I don't think so. I probably will use a handful, but not all of them. So let's give it a crack. So now it's looking like what that ice cream is. Apple cream, I believe. So the cream with the vanilla and vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry milk. So, we have a problem. Problem B, how do we get these screws to get along? How do we get these screws to get along? The adapters. Because they're not long enough. So I'm wondering if he made a mistake. In the screws that he gave. I don't think he would. need to think for a minute. And if that's the case, then maybe I may just need some longer screws of my own, and then make it up tomorrow after going to the hardware store. We can always sort of rectify some of these things. Some of these things you don't have to call someone and complain per se. You can just sort of talk with them when they're sort of packaging things that you need to remember that you would need something longer, which is fine. Just need to think for a minute and just check if I just happen to have longer versions of these screws, and that they are longer but they're not meant for that. So I would need something, I think that's a little bit too long. Works, but too long. But alright, let's first make sure that at least the wheel and everything else is in play, and then what I'll do is I'll continue this video from here. What I'll do for now is put the adapter on, just so that at least we've got the adapter, and then we will go from there. Because like I said, I'm not really going to put all of the screws in here, because I don't think it's necessary. I think that once you line up one or two, you're good to go. In fact, that might be the young man himself messaging me to say if the video is done, because he would like to see what the thought process is. Let's see how this goes, and if it locks into place, because that's the other thing that you want, is to just make sure things lock into place and things are where they need to be. So I put one, I think I put 3 last time, I think it's 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we can do that. One of each, one in every hole, at least every second hole or something like that, just to make sure that they're locked into place. And then I'll actually hustle what the threading is and see if I can get double the length. That's all. I'll ask him and I'll put it in the description, and hopefully by the time that you guys end up ordering some of this stuff, a lot of the kinks will be sorted out. So far, like I said, understandable. It's not a life or death situation. This is just a toy for us to play with, and just recreational fun. So not something to be taken serious. It's not a doctor, you know, performing surgery or something like that. So let's give the man a break. And my mistake, I'm actually screwing them the wrong way. This is supposed to be the bottom. So I'll rectify that in a minute. Oof. Words of the Joker, why so serious? You know? But yeah, like I said, it's going to be great, because even when I do this during the day, because it's almost midnight, when I do this during the day, what's then going to happen is we'll be able to actually get a kid to test it out or something, or my nephew will be here, but then he can take it for a spin and you can see how things go. This will be tested up on a Series X, and maybe we might test it up on a PS5 using Cronus 7. So that'll be great. So this is what is supposed to happen. So that's what the threading is supposed to feel like, I think. Hope I'm correct. Hope I'm correct in my assessment. Because otherwise I've just wasted the time unscrewing and then potentially screwing this again. If that feels right. That feels pretty good. Let's see. Hello. I'm wondering to myself, I wonder if he intended this to be just long screws all the way, because what I was going to do was I was going to, I get the feeling that this is a long screws all the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this here for a minute. And then what I'll do is I'll shoot him a message. After shooting him a message, we will sort of try to get to the bottom of this. I hope I don't have anything else missing in the packaging. And if I do, what I'll do is I'll actually ask him what the thread length is. I'm what the threaded width is, and then try to sort of establish if we can get double the length. Because I think double the length will do everything that we want it to, and also be able to sort of keep everything locked in, and then that will fix the whole wheel issue. So bear with me, I'll pass on the message, and then I'll come back to you. I'll pass through maybe a hardware store when it's open, and I'll have a chat with the people inside as well after chatting with them, and then we'll try to figure out exactly where things went wrong, because these screws are for the center plate, which we don't actually have access to at the front. If you look here, these long screws are for that, and so what we would need in length, I guess, is the equivalent of something like this, which is almost double. Normally I would say these, but these are for a bracket for TV, so completely thicker and completely out of the scope of this. So I'll leave it here for now, then I will shoot you guys a quick video, or I'll quickly add onto this video and we will go from there. Okay, thank you.
Several days later.
So, what happened last time was I'd been given a bag of screws, but the screws were just not quite right. So because the screws were not quite right, what ended up happening was I was sort of left with this machine and trying to figure out how best I can sort of adjust the wheel to do what it needs to do. So, with that being said, getting rid of the little bag of screws, I was able to obviously do the H pattern, which is great. I couldn't quite understand the threading. When I went to look for some threading for the spacer, which is that one, I couldn't quite understand the threading, so I took one of the screws with me. So after taking one of the screws with me, I ended up coming across the M4s. I was initially going to get the M5s, but I felt like they were a bit too tight, so I thought, let me try the M4s. And let me try extending the length to about 35 millimeters. So, why 35 mils? Because I think that 35 mils strikes the right balance. These only cost maybe $3 or $4, by the way. I'll clarify that in a minute or two, or rather after we finish doing this. Now, I'm going to put some things on before I do, because my eyes are killing me. So naturally this is about double the length of the screws, if y'all can see that. So it's about double the length, but I chose screws instead of Allen or Stanley keys. So pardon me for a second while I put on some glasses. So, as we stand, that's much better. As we stand, or as we sit, the biggest issue was trying to get this to line up and then also put the wheel on top. So, the plan will be to snatch up this wheel, put this and get them to line up. So you can do this by yourself, you can ask a friend to help. We'll start with the top three. I think I usually like to just get the top three in first, because once lining them up, everything else tends to fall in line. Literally. So depending on how wide that head is, I might have to put the bolt on top. We shall find out in a minute. Or at least put a washer or something. We're cutting it close, to be honest with you. We're cutting it really close. I think that you're better off maybe putting a washer in there just to make sure it doesn't pop out. I think I may have some washers. Bear with me for a minute. Let me see what I can find. I can just find a small washer or two and put it up. This is not usually the tackle box that I would have for washers, but you never know. Lots of screws, but I do not see any washers. And to make it worse, the heads of these screws are actually pretty wide, which wouldn't have needed washers anyway. So, again, I didn't expect to find them in this box. I just thought I'd give it a crack. Let's continue. So for me, what I'll do for now is I'm going to put the bolt in there for a while and see if that's going to help. If it doesn't help, then we'll figure something else out. I want to see if the bolt or the nut is good. So if it's just slightly wider, then I'll put that and that will serve as the washer. Okay, so it's a little bit wider. It's slightly wider. I don't know if the camera can focus on that. It's a little bit wider, so it'll probably make up for all the shortcomings. So I'll first make the adjustments, line these things up, and then go from there. Starting here, good. Feels secure already. That feels significantly secure. Heavy too. So that's our adapter. Ooh, look at that distance. Ooh, so the extenders will fit in perfectly. That is, of course, if you like tectonic shifters. Some of us might just prefer to use just the stick. Like I said, you've got the option of going sequential or HVAC. So yeah, that extra bolt just sort of added, that extra nut added to it significantly. When it locks in, you can actually feel it. Okay, that's locked in. That feels really solid and heavy too. But it's lined up, which is what I want. So I'll take this one out. From the TV in the background. Should have switched that off, which I will. Shouldn't matter too much for now. Take a sip of this tea. It's a little bit cold outside. now what we have is we have the spacer. Oof. So that's what it looks like for me, someone with a decent pair of hands. That's what it looks like, right? So you have to kind of somewhat strain in order to play. So adding those other bits of plastic to sort of help extend will look like this. So by the time you include these, and I was telling him that he needs to just thicken these up just so that they don't flex as much. Because again, if someone is playing something a little bit more stressful, they've been playing for a while, they might end up actually damaging these little guys. So what that does is it puts less strain. It puts significantly less strain. I don't have to worry too much about reaching towards something. Again, I'm not sure what sort of positioning you can do. I think that will make that further out. Let's see. Let's see if I flip them over, what that feels like. Oops. Just trying to see what works and what doesn't, so that we know how to advise. I think that's okay. Because what you want is just to be able to reach out and do what you need to do. The idea is pretty sick. I wish that they had I wish they came the other way, just a little bit higher up, just so that way I'm driving. Alright, so I'm going to put this together, and then after putting it together, my nephew will be here sometime and he's going to try it out. I'm enjoying that. I like that. I like the way that it feels. So I'll put that together. I'll put this in the background of the video so that you guys can watch. And we can go from there. So again, before I forget, these are the screws. Just so that people know which works well. M4 with that sort of length, roughly. Okay. So basically this is the setup. I think I have about 4 screws. I'm going to use the 2 short screws for the shifter. Oh, my hips are still killing me, so bending down is not always easy. I'm going to use the 4 screws for the shifter, which will hold these cables this way. Tighten them up in a little bit. Now it's just about lining them up and making sure we're in a good space. Find out what am I doing wrong. Oh! That's fairly sturdy. I don't even think it needs me to further tighten it up. As for the wheel is where the trick is. Because number one, the wheel is much more fragile and needs you to organize the cables properly. So the shifter and everything else needs to be organized and lined up properly. So the shifter is there and the pedals are already connected, so that means I'm out of the way. Okay, so what do we have here? So we've got all the cables lined up. Now just try to get the wheel to sit. Don't stay still for that long, so I need to make some adjustments. Guessing that this would have been pulled a little bit securely. So I don't remember which one I removed. The threading is right. I need to wind out. Looks pretty lined up. Let me see if I can run the torch. Ooh. Okay, so just a little bit misaligned. Just a touch misaligned. I'll loosen this just a touch. Just a touch. doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere anytime soon, and that feels solid. Spacers, everything feels just nice and tight. That's the USB connection that we're going to be using to connect to PC and consoles. That will go there. Then I just have to figure out what to do with these cables. That's the power pack. I have to separate this also and put, I guess, with the USB. And then everything else, either tape it up here, which might be worthwhile, just taping it up here just so that it doesn't get in the way. I think that's the best way to handle it. But for now, let's not worry too much. Like I said, when my young nephew comes by, he can come and give this a test and tell us what he thinks. For now, I'll just leave it in here. I'll leave it up here somewhere just to make sure. That's going to work out a little bit better. Try to tie it up too much, just trying to make sure it doesn't obstruct. Alright, so that's us. Okay, so that's just my nephew messaging me. He's going to be the one testing all this. So I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to take some photos. Then you guys can tell me what you think. I like the stitching. I like everything that I'm seeing so far. So this is where we're at. We're going to stop here.